Jai Gurudev Bella, you can get started. Unmute yourself.
Jai Gurudev. Om. Sahana bhavatu, sahano bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu, ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye. So we have started with the chapter 7th, and we saw yesterday how Bhagavan has beautifully explained with Swami the Panchakosha and the Prakriti Rahasya. I will just repeat few headlines along with the previous shloka. Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu kham mano buddhirev cha ahamkara iti yamme bhinna prakritirashtadha. Earth, water, fire, air, space, mind, intellect, and indeed the sense of doership. Thus, this Prakriti of mind is divided in an eightfold way. And then there were different teaching model. Prakriya, according to Chandogya Upanishad, Shrishti Prakriya, Swamiji had beautifully explained. Avastha Traya Prakriya, analysis of the three states of experience in Mandukya Upanishad. Panchakosha Prakriya, analysis of the 5 levels of experience of oneself according in Taittiriya Upanishad. Tanmatra Prakriya, a type of Shrishti Prakriya. I will just read here. Here Krishna uses the Tanmatra Prakriya. Tanmatra, as we have seen, means the 5 subtle elements. These 5 subtle elements undergo a process of grossification whereby each element shares half of itself with the other 4. Therefore, each gross element is 5-fold and has 1/8 of each of the other elements. For example, Sthula Akasha is 1/2 Sukshma Akasha, 1/8 Sukshma Vayu, 1/8 Sukshma Agni, 1/8 Sukshma Apaha, and 1/8 Sukshma Prithvi. Thus, every gross element is 5-fold, and because it is formed of these 5-fold elements, the world itself is called Prapancha, 5-fold in Sanskrit. This Prapancha was originally Tanmatra. Only that alone, Tanmatra, was there. In other words, in Akasha, Akasha alone was there. In Vayu, Vayu alone. In Agni, Agni alone. In Apaha, Apaha alone. In Prithvi, Prithvi alone. In the Sukshma form, they don't have these 5-fold combinations. Therefore, they are called Tanmatras. These Tanmatras, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, have been listed in the reverse order in this verse. If they are listed as space, air, fire, water, earth. It is in the order in which they were created, Shrishti Krama. But because Arjuna is now looking at the already created, the Srishti that is there, the elements are listed beginning with Bhumi. These five elements have many synonyms. Here, Prithvi, the earth, is called Bhumi. Agni, the fire, is called Anala. Anala means Anantam na vidyate yasya, the one who never takes enough in terms of renewal. Akasha is called Khamaha. All five of these elements are to be understood here as subtle, that is Sukshma, because they are mentioned as the cause here. Then Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara are also added to these elements. Since they are all products, they have to be looked at from the causal level. The five subtle elements with these three are the eightfold cause for this entire Jagat. The cause of the mind is Ahankara. So in this verse, the word Manas stands for Ahankara. The word Buddhi stands for Mahat Tattva. The word Ahankara stands for the unmanifest, Avyakta. Krishna wants to point out all the causes and he arranges them in the order that is generally discussed elsewhere. Ahankara is mentioned last because Avyakta, the unmanifest, is the primary cause with reference to the creation. It is Upadana Karana, the material cause for the creation. While Brahman does not undergo any change, the Upadana Karana undergoes all the change and is therefore looked at as Parinami, that which undergoes modification. Then there is a new problem. If you say Brahman is the cause, then Brahman must undergo some change in order to become the creation. Yes, as Parinami Karana, it does. And that change takes place only in the Maya Upadhi. Only from the standpoint of Maya is it Parinami Karana. From the standpoint of itself, it is Vivarta Upadana Karana. It does not undergo any change. The material cause itself is analyzed as a cause that undergoes change and as that which doesn't undergo any change. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma cannot undergo change. The Avyakta, the Maya, alone undergoes changes. Lord Krishna says that this Maya Shakti itself has become this eightfold cause for the entire creation. So, in an eightfold way, this Maya Shakti, which is non-separate from me, is the cause for everything. Maya is not a parallel reality. It is the Lord's own Shakti. And in an eightfold way, it becomes the Prakriti for the creation. This is called Apara Prakriti. The other Prakriti, Para Prakriti, is the Swarupa of Atma. If you want me to repeat any paragraph, because there is again an unstable internet, so my voice must be breaking. So kindly let me know if you want me to repeat before we go to the new verse. Anyone wants to share? Kindly unmute and share.
Yeah, if you can just repeat from, I think, from before the Parinami, how the Brahman doesn't change, it's only the Upadana Karana that changes. That, I think there was a little shake in the voice from
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, there is a constant, I don't know. Yeah, I will repeat. Parinama. Yeah, yeah. Tanmatra Prakriya, a type of Srishti Prakriya. Here, Krishna uses the Tanmatra Prakriya. Tanmatra, as we have seen, means the five subtle elements. These five subtle elements undergo a process of grossification whereby each element shares half of itself with the other four. Therefore, each gross element is fivefold and has one eighth of each of the other element. For example, Sthula Akasha is one half Sukshma Akasha, one eighth Sukshma Vayu, one eighth Sukshma Agni, one eighth Sukshma Apa, and one eighth Sukshma Prithvi. Thus, every gross element is fivefold, and because it is formed of these fivefold elements, the world itself is called Prapancha, fivefold in Sanskrit. This prapancha was originally Tanmatra. Only that alone, Tat Matra was there. In other words, in Akasha, Akasha alone was there. In Vayu, Vayu alone. In Agni, Agni alone. In Apaha, Apaha alone. In Prithvi, Prithvi alone. In the Sukshma form, they don't have these fivefold combinations. Therefore, they are called Tanmatras. These tanmatras, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi have been listed in reverse order in this verse. If they are listed as space, air, fire, water, earth, it is in the order in which they were created. Srishtikar Krama. But because Arjuna is now looking at the already created, the Srishti that is there, the elements are listed beginning with Bhumi. These five elements have many synonyms. Here, Prithvi, the earth, is called Bhumi, Agni, the fire, is called Anala, Akasha is called Khama. All the five of these elements are to be understood here as subtle, that is, Sukshma, because they are mentioned as the cause here. Then Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara are also added to these elements. Since they are all products, they have to be looked at from the causal level. The five subtle elements with these three are the eightfold cause for this entire Jagat. The cause of the mind is Ahankara. So in this verse, the word Manas stands for the Ahankara. The word Buddhi stands for Mahat Tattva. The word Ahankara stands for the unmanifest Avyakta. Krishna wants to point out all the causes and he arranges them in the order that is generally discussed elsewhere. Ahankara is mentioned last because Avyakta, the unmanifest, is the primary cause with reference to the creation. It is the Upadana Karana, the material cause for the creation. While Brahman does not undergo in any change, the Upadana Karana undergoes all the change and is therefore looked at as Parinami, that which undergoes modification. Then there is a new problem. If you say Brahman is the cause, then Brahman must undergo some change in order to become the creation. Yes, as Parinami Karana, it does. And that change takes place only in the Maya Upadhi. Only from the standpoint of Maya is it Parinami Karana. From the standpoint of itself, it is Vivarta Upadana Karana. It doesn't undergo any change. The material cause itself is analyzed as a cause that undergoes change and as that which doesn't undergo any change. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma cannot undergo change. The avyakta, the Maya, alone undergoes changes. Lord Krishna says that this Maya Shakti itself has become this eightfold cause for the entire creation. So, in an eightfold way, this Maya Shakti, which is non-separate from me, is the cause for everything. Maya is not a parallel reality. It is the Lord's own Shakti. And in an eightfold way, it becomes the Prakriti for the creation. This is called Apara Prakriti. The other Prakriti, Para Prakriti, is the Swarupa of Atma. Mataji, could you please explain in a simple way? It is very beautiful. Uh,
Can you
Maya
repeat
is
the last two lines
Parinami.
regarding para prakriti and apara prakriti?
Yeah. Lord Krishna says that this Maya Shakti itself has become this eightfold cause for the entire creation. So, in an eightfold way, this Maya Shakti, which is non-separate from me, is the cause for everything. Maya is not a parallel reality. It is the Lord's own Shakti. And in an eightfold way, it becomes the Prakriti for the creation. This is called Apara Prakriti. The other Prakriti, Para Prakriti, is the Swarupa of Atma. I think Apara undergoes change, but the Para Prakriti, the Swarupa Prakriti doesn't undergo any change. It is also called Vivarta Upadana Karana, as per my little understanding.
Yeah, you're right, Bela. So, very beautifully, very logically, stepwise, here Swamiji has brought out how creation happens through this eightfold manifestation of Brahman. Brahman actually is not um, through this Tanmatra Prakriya. This whole thing is all about the Tanmatra Prakriya, wherein the Tanmatras, the Sukshma aspect of the five Panchapranas, about the five uh, Panchamahabhutas, by themselves, they like space, Sukshma space is only space. It doesn't have any other aspect of any of the other Panchamahabhutas. But whereas when they become grossified, the space that we see as visible space, the water, fire, air, earth that we can see, that is grossified with the from Panchikarna, like what we understood in Tattva Bodh. It's one half of space, of Sukshma space, and one fourth of each of the other Sukshmas, that is, of air, fire, water, and earth. That constitutes the grossified space. Similarly, grossified fire, air, water, and earth. Along with this, the three manas, buddhi, and ahankara. And manas is born from ahankara, and buddhi, according to what is explained here, is called the mahat tattva. And ahankara is described as being avyakta. Um, what my understanding of this ahankara is that it is born of avyakta, is that which is which is not manifest. It was given another name, no? It is called avyakta. What is that? Avyakta? Was it
Vivarta
avyakta
Karana.
upadana? Hmm?
Vivarta Upadana Karana. Vivarta.
No. For Ahankara specifically, there was something called Avyakta. If you can just go back to that place where.
Here it is. The cause of mind is Ahankara. Maya stands for Ahankara is Avyakta, unmanifest.
It's just Avyakta, is
Ahankara,
it? There's nothing else?
yeah, Avyakta. Here it is.
Right,
Ahankara stands for the unmanifest Avyakta.
right. And all this is coming from Brahman, who we understand is changeless. So, how can there be so much of change in the changeless Brahman? To explain that, they bring in the aspect of the Brahman is the material cause, he's the Upadana Karana. But there are two aspects to this Upadana Karana. One is the Vivarta Upadana Karana, the one that is changeless, and the other one is the Parinami Upadana Karana, the one that undergoes change. And that Parinami Upadana Karana is because of the Maya Shakti of Brahman, which is not different from him. Maya is not different from Brahman. It is his own power, his own creative impulse, his own creative um, aspect that creates this Parinami Upadana Karana, and that creates all these eightfold um, manifestation from which creation happens. So when you look at it from the aspect of the ocean which is still, that is the like the Vivarta Upadana Karana. There are no waves, no bubbles, nothing at all. But when you look at the waves that arise from the ocean, all the water bubbles and the waves and all that, that is from the Vivarta Upadana, the Parinami Upadana Karana, which again is from Brahman itself, so which is non different. And all that is avyakta. All this is again because of the Maya Shakti. And how do we get to the this again is called the apara prakriti, the one that manifests or the one that changes, the parinami upadana karana. Whereas the one that is changeless is the satyam jnanam anantam brahma. That is the para prakriti. So we have apara prakriti, which is all the manifest jagat that we see, and the para prakriti is the swarupa of Brahman, which is nothing but consciousness, bliss, and truth, existence, consciousness, bliss. If anyone wants to share or add, can do that.
Beautifully explained. This Swarupa Paraprakriti, the Swarupa Jnana, can we call it as Paroksha Jnana? Or it is different? We cannot mix up.
To understand para prakriti will actually be aparoksha jnana, isn't it?
Sorry.
That
Paroksha is the Parinami.
is what you see. Yeah. Parinami is
Hmm.
paroksha. Whereas aparoksha, see, we know this as a concept. That is the paroksha. We know that Brahman is Satyam Jnanam
Satyam
Anantam
Jnana
as a
Ananta.
concept. It's an intellectual concept. It's only Jnana. But when that Jnana becomes Vijna, it
Experiential.
becomes our experience, then it becomes Aparoksha.
Hmm. Very beautiful. अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदं धार्यते जगत. Mahabaho, O mighty armed Arjuna, iyam apara. This prakriti is lower. Tu, whereas itaha anyam, the one that is other than this, me param prakritim, my higher prakriti, my very nature, jiva bhutam, that which is the essential nature of the individual. Vidhi, please understand, yaya, by which, idam jagata, this world, dharyate, is sustained. Mahabaho, iyam apara, tu itah anyam, me param prakritim, jiva bhutam, vidhi, yaya, idam jagata, dharyate. O mighty armed Arjuna, this is my lower prakriti. Whereas, please understand, the one other than this, my higher prakriti, my very nature, which is the essential nature of the individual by which this world is sustained. I repeat, O mighty armed Arjuna, this is my lower prakriti. Whereas, please understand, the one other than this, my higher prakriti, my very nature, which is the essential nature of the individual by which this world is sustained. What has been described so far is apara. Apara swabhava prakriti. Iyam, this apara prakriti is the prakriti which is the cause for everything created. This should not be taken as myself. It is apara prakriti, a lower prakriti. Therefore, Shankara says it is indeed anarthaka, something that brings about the undesirable. This is the prakriti that creates all the problems. It is the one that causes you dukkha by giving you a jiva, sharira, etc. Out of this prakriti, your body, mind, and senses are produced. And because of this alone, you have all the dukkha associated with them in the form of all their limitations. All these are caused by this apara prakriti. Its very form is the bondage of samsara. For this reason, it is the lower prakriti. I repeat this paragraph, please pay attention. What has been described so far is apara swabhava prakriti. Iyam, this apara prakriti is the prakriti which is the cause for everything created. This should not be taken as myself. It is apara prakriti, a lower prakriti. Therefore, Shankara says it is indeed anarthaka. Anarthaka. My pronunciation is correct, Brahmaraji. Anarthaka or anarthaka? Anarthaka. Something that brings about the undesirable. This is the prakriti that creates all the problems. It is the one that causes you dukkha by giving you a jiva, sharira, etc. Out of this prakriti, your body, mind, and senses are produced. And because of this alone, you have all the dukkha associated with them in the form of all their limitations. All these are caused by this apara prakriti. Its very form is the bondage of samsara. For this reason, it is the lower prakriti. my real nature. Then what is the higher Prakriti? Tu, whereas itaha anyam. Other than this, me param prakritim vidhi. Please understand my higher Prakriti. Other than this, please understand the Swarupa of myself, my very nature as the Para Prakriti. This Para Prakriti, Shankara says, is Vishuddha, pure, not touched by anything. Para means ut, Utkrishta, the most exalted Prakriti. With reference to the other one, it is Utkrishta. Because if you know this Prakriti, you are liberated. The other Prakriti will bind you. So I repeat once again, the Swarupa Prakriti, they are both different. First we said the Swabhava Prakriti and now the Swarupa Prakriti, which is Prabhu's real nature, Paramatma's real nature, Para Prakriti. Then what is the higher Prakriti? Tu, whereas itaha anyam. Other than this, me param prakritim vidhi. Please understand my higher Prakriti. Other than this, please understand the Swarupa of myself, my very nature as the Para Prakriti. This Para Prakriti, Shankara says, is Vishuddha, pure, not touched by anything. Para means Utkrishta, the most exalted Prakriti. With reference to the other one, it is Utkrishta. Because if you know this Prakriti, you are liberated. The other Prakriti will bind you. So very beautiful, Bhagwan has explained the cause of creation and the cause of sustenance. The sustenance is Bhagwan's real nature. And the cause of creation is the Swabhava of the Prakriti, Apara Prakriti. My real nature is you. Here, Krishna, speaking as Ishvara, says, please understand my real nature, and that is Jiva Bhuta in the form of the Jiva, and that is you. In this Prakriti, Atma always remains the same. That Atma, Sat Chit Atma, is the Kshetrajna, the one who knows the entire Kshetra. The Kshetra is the mind, intellect, doership, memory, body, senses, sensory world, etc. The Atma that illumines all of them is called Kshetrajna. That is the real meaning of the word Jiva, the one who is in every Kshetra. Later, Krishna is going to say that in every body, mind, sense complex, Sarva Kshetresu, the one who remains there is Atma, Kshetrajna. It is in chapter 13, verse 2, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhagayo. This is not included in the Apara Prakriti. I repeat once again, my real nature is you. Here, Krishna, speaking as Ishvara, says, please understand my real nature, and that is Jiva Bhuta in the form of the Jiva, and that is you. In this Prakriti, Atma always remains the same. That Atma, Sat Chit Anand, Sat Chit Atma is the Kshetrajna, the one who knows the entire Kshetra. The Kshetra is the mind, intellect, doership, memory, body, senses, sensory world, etc. The Atma that illumines all of them is called Kshetrajna. That is the real meaning of the word Jiva, the one who is in every Kshetra. Later, Krishna is going to say that in every body, mind, sense complex, Sarva Kshetresu. The one who remains there is Atma Kshetrajna. This is not included in the Apara Prakriti. So beautiful.
So this Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga is actually the 13th chapter, isn't it? So there,
Yes, yes.
the Asi aspect, how the relation between the Jiva and Paramatma is mentioned. Whereas here in the second Shatka, from the 7th chapter onwards, Bhagwan is talking about the uh, the Tat aspect. So he's describing all of this stuff that's happening now, right now. So the previous two paragraphs, if we can understand, um, there are two aspects to the Prakriti. One is the Anartaka and the other one is the Utkrishta. Anartaka is that which is Maya Janita, which is coming out of Maya, and that is not me, he says. In the sense, although Maya, in the previous paragraph, he says, this Maya Shakti is none other than me, it is coming from me only. But here he is giving that distinction, saying, all this is the cause for the material world, the, the one that causes the opposites, pain, sukha, dukkha, all of that. That is not my true nature. That is only the swabhava. It is not the swarupa. So the distinction here is that we are not getting lost in that anarthaka prakriti. We will have to uh, yoke ourselves to the utkrishta prakriti, which is satyam, jnanam, anantam. That is the swarupa of atma. And that is what is there in the jiva. The jiva alone, the pure jiva is nothing but the kshetrajna, who understands the kshetra. Kshetra is the field of expression of all these, the body, mind, sense complex. And the one who realizes it, who understands, is the kshetrajna. And he says this is not included in the apara prakriti. So it is because apara prakriti is the manifest, is the parinami upadana karana.
So beautiful. We get lost in that anartha prakriti all the
Mm,
time. And we
mm,
forget about our real nature, the real swarupa of Ishwar, which is nothing but Satchitananda.
yeah.
So beautifully explained, Brahmaraji. Dhanyavad.
From the aspect of the Utkrishta Prakriti, all of us are the same. There's no difference, there's only one. But when you look at the Anarthaka Prakriti, wherein that is where all this bhinna, everything, all the differences start happening there. And that is the cause of sorrow. And that is, we get lost in their limitations.
Mm.
We feel that we are limited to this. Dr. Savita very beautifully explained yesterday in chapter 6. The
Yeah.
kami, we keep going outwardly to satisfy this insecurity, to feel complete. And it's such a futile exercise. You may go on and on and on, but that will
Yeah.
not help you at all. Never makes you feel. It is like that anala, the fire that is never satisfied. No matter what you put into it, it continues to ask more. Such an anarthaka that is, no, towards when you go
Mhm.
towards the material world. Only when you bring yourself back to within, you are looking within and you yoke yourself to that para prakriti, the utkrishta prakriti, the vivarta upadana karana. That is when you understand that you're changeless, you're your real attribute, your real nature is Satyam Jnanam Anantam.
So that word Mayavi in the 6th chapter is also appropriate.
Mm. That is the whole definition of Maya, no? Ya ma sa Maya. That which is not but which appears as if it is. Like the mirage on the road, on the snake on the row. That is the Maya. It's an illusion. I think the next paragraph will explain the real nature of.
Yeah, the sustenance aspect. So far, creation
Go
aspect.
ahead.
Yeah, and now the sustenance, which is through his nature. My real nature, para prakriti, sustains everything. In apara prakriti, only the elements, the ahankara, buddhi, and manas are included. Atma is omitted. That is para prakriti, which is the one by which this entire world is sustained. Yaya, by this para prakriti alone, idam jagat, this entire world, dharyate, is sustained. Therefore, please understand that para prakriti, which is other than this, itah anyam param prakritim viddhi. Although both must be understood, Krishna is going to say, this is the real prakriti. This is my real nature, the cause for everything, and therefore it is called prakriti. It is this prakriti from which everything has come, which remains always the same, which is indeed the jiva, the atma. Therefore, understand that prakriti to be para utkrishta. The other one is apara prakriti, the 5 elements, etc. Having set this up, he is now going to reveal that there is nothing other than this para prakriti. So, Brahmaraji, my understanding is okay, like this para prakriti is responsible for sustaining and apara is responsible for creating.
Yeah. The illusion of creation happens because of the apara prakriti.
Yes. So
It is
now
only an illusion. Anarthaka it is.
Anarthaka. Okay.
So the Atma is there in both, right?
No, my dear. He said here, no, Atma is omitted. Very clearly it is said. I will read
That's why
once
I
again.
asked this question. So if Atma is omitted in the para prakriti, then where is Atma?
No, para prakriti, no. Atma is para prakriti. Atma is omitted in the apara prakriti.
Oh.
In the.
Okay, understood now. Okay.
Apara prakriti it is omitted.
Okay. I got it.
Apara prakriti is the eightfold. The 5 Panchamahabhutas, Manas, Buddhi and Ahankara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And para prakriti? Oh,
Para prakriti is the nature, the nature of Bhagwan. It is the Satyam Jnanam Anantam.
Okay. This is the Swarupa. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. I heard it.
But the thing aspect here is the apara prakriti has no existence without the para prakriti. It is because of the para prakriti that the apara exists.
Same
Isn't
like
it?
yes, with Sat, Mithya is a part of Sat.
Yeah, it is.
Because of Sat only, there is this illusion of Mithya also, no?
Mithya, exactly. So what is this which is making this mithya? That is all the ignorance. So therefore, jnana, it is only through the sword of jnana that you can, um, you can remove this illusion of apara prakriti and get to realize your true nature, which is nothing but para prakriti. Because it's that veil of ignorance, that veil of maya, which is nothing but ignorance. Therefore, we require jnana, which is why Gurudev himself says in one of those knowledge sessions, he says, you will not get anything, you will not get liberated if you do kriya, meditation. Take it from me. This is all your practices will not help you. He doesn't say not help you, will not get you liberation. Because ultimately, all these are only processes to help create that the Shuddhanta Karana. Ultimately, it is knowledge. That sword of knowledge, that light of knowledge that will slash this misunderstanding and make you realize, take you out of this illusory world and make you realize your true nature. Which is why this pramana is important, which is why these Upanishadic Vakyas, Bhagavad Gita, all of this is so important. I think as recently as in Dubai, I don't know, Bela, were you there when Gurudev came?
Yes, my
Someone
dear.
had asked, is it important for us to read Bhagavad Gita, knowledge and everything? He says, if it is not, why would I give it? He says, it is required for you to, I'm not saying his actual words, but the import was, it is important. It is only because of knowledge that um, you can cross over this.
So I'm going to ask a question like an offshoot from this. At what age should we have, at what age are human beings ready to receive this knowledge, right? Like some of us, like I am quite old, crossed all that learning stage and all that, and getting this. By now, I'm already, by habit, we've done a lot of things. And now to unlearn and learn this. But if this was given at a younger age, what age do you think is appropriate for this knowledge to be introduced? And in what way can that be done now? I know this was done in the Gurukul and all that earlier. So people had knowledge of the mind and how the mind works and all that. And somewhere all this got lost. And we went through that kind of a system of education. And at a later age, we are getting this. So maybe for some of us, it is quite taking more time to incorporate it. But if this was given at a younger age, what age do you think is appropriate for a human mind to absorb this knowledge?
Jai Gurudev. It's all our prarabdha that we are destined to have received this knowledge. It's not in our, though it is in our hands that we strive for it. We do all, like you put all the ankush on yourself in every way. But ultimately, it's the prarabdha with which you are born that will decide when you will have to receive and what you will receive and how you will receive. So it's
Jai Gurudev. Here I want to add to Savitaji. First of all, no, Sumaji, is it Suma who is asking the question?
Yes,
Yes,
as usual.
Sumaji. No, it's very good. First of all, we need to remove that labels which we are putting, that I am of this age, I am of that age, and everything. See, it's a continuous journey, just changing from one body to another body, but this knowledge goes on. And the jiva is traveling through these bodies and getting the, what you say, knowledge and the impressions also simultaneously. So it's a continuous process. It is not just the age of the body or anything like that. And if the prarabdha is like that, if you have last lifetime you had done something, you born in a family where from the birth itself those sanskaras, some people they get, some people later on in their life. So actually you should not get caught up with the age of the body or any stage of the body, and just keep on whatever is happening. First of all, most important I feel so, especially during our teachers upgrade, we have come out of it just now. Continuously Guruji is saying कि stop labeling yourself. आप अपनी जो self image बनाते हैं, whatever self image you have made, write it down and tear it off. Then only you will become free. And for that, no age bar is there, no limit is there. The moment you feel you remove all your self images, somebody said from the audience that it is so much ingrained in me, I am not able to. So, this what I am not able to and what is ingrained in me, just remove that, just feel free from that. So, same thing applies here also, I think. So, Sumaji, don't label yourself at all due to your body's constraints, age wise or any element wise, or the roles you are playing. Don't restrict yourself mentally at least. फिजिकली ठीक है, प्रारब्ध से अभी जो आपको गुजरना है आप गुजर रहे हो, पर उसके साथ आइडेंटिफाई करके उसको पकड़ के मत रखना मन में, तो फ्रीडम नहीं होता है, एंड द सेम थिंग विल गेट रिपीटेड इन द नेक्स्ट लाइफ टाइम आल्सो. I think so. I have cleared all your doubts. Check.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Madhuriji. Thank you for that update from Gurudev. I do understand this prarabdha, all that. And my question is not for myself, because we, as somebody had mentioned, we are conditioned from childhood to do things in a certain way, to think in a certain way. It kind of engraved probably from many births also, I don't know. So when you receive this knowledge, you have to uncondition the previous mind, and it's not that easy, I think. And secondly, my question was, at what age do you think, that means all those present in this Zoom, what age do you think would be appropriate for this knowledge to be introduced or taught? Like,
I
I'm
would
not
say
saying the culture in the
Every age,
family, I'm
from
not
the
talking about that.
I
I'm
would
talking
say
about
look
from
at
the
the
this.
age of
sanskaras,
Nachiket. No?
garbhadhan
Nachiket is there.
sanskaras, from the age of garbhadhan sanskaras, as early as possible. From the
As a
garbhadhan
small
itself,
child,
you can
even
start it.
Nachiket got it. Astavakra Gita, which was written, Astavakra was in the womb when he corrected his father. So you can get it from any age.
From
As
the
a child,
garbhadhan itself, Suma ji,
हाँ,
garbhadhan
yeah.
बोलते हैं ना, तब से ही करना है, गर्भाधान से ही
Agreed,
शुरू
agreed.
करना है.
I don't think I made my question clear. All that is agreed. But what I'm saying is, the current education system through which we have gone through and the children are going through now doesn't include all this knowledge for the mind, to culture the mind. Are you getting my question now? So at what
Yes,
age do
Somaji,
you
I am
think?
getting your question, but let me tell you, in a Muslim religion, they make time for learning the Quran by heart. And they call it Quran Sharik. And it's a big festival, just like our Upnayan. And the person understands the Quran as a small child. He is taught the meanings, everything over there, and he can recite it by heart. So one has to, in each individual family, make time for it. Even like an emperor is there, Nachiket got it in a very young age, isn't it? And the
Yes,
knowledge. So
yes,
every
agreed, agreed.
family is different.
So
It depends on how much
officially it is at the
importance you
age
want
of
to give.
7. Officially it is at the age of the 7. Brahma
Huh?
Gyan is given from father to the child.
How
Okay,
much of
thank you.
importance we give to this knowledge is important. Normally we say with all the educational, this thing, all the time is gone. in all the subjects that have to be studied in school. So there is no time for religion, as it is said, or for spirituality. And
Yeah.
therefore, under that guise, we do not give it. Muslims are very
Mm.
firm. That is why they are so united. They give it. And whether that is a right or wrong indoctrination, they get it from very small childhood. They do their 5 times prayers. They go to a masjid and they do 5 times prayer. They make time for it.
Yeah.
So,
If I can
yeah.
just add to this, yeah, very beautiful discussion on this, is that if you look at the Sanskar Kendra, Bal Vihar, Bal Vikas, all of this, every spiritual organization has something as an accessory. It is not included in the mainstream education, but it is like an accessory. It's it's voluntary for people to join. Not every child is pushed into it in our the Sanatana Dharma. Whereas that age is around 5 years. 5 years, most of these Bal Vihar, Bal Vikas, all of them start off. I think Sanskar Kendra is from 6 years upwards. So that is when the mind can start actually. Till then, they anyway exhibit human values. But it is after that, because of exposure to the outside world, what they see, they there is an element of pollution happening. So that is when you re-emphasize and you know you instill these and nurture the human values so they grow. Sanskar Kendra that way is such a beautiful program where it nurtures all of this. It puts in the seeds of uh, I wouldn't say Brahmajnan, but then it's culturing the child. You're nurturing the child towards living a life of purity, of innocence. So I'm not sure that that answers your question, but like everybody said, it is multifactorial. It can start from even from the womb, and like Dr. Savita rightly mentioned, it is with your when you're living a life of dharma, you're living a life of righteousness, all that you're accruing grace, and from that grace you that itself will direct you towards this knowledge. You will find it, but you'll be gifted a teacher who will show you the way. So all that is, it's interlinked. It is quite complex in the sense it is a play, an interplay of your own purushartha, your prarabdha, your sanskaras. All of this comes together, and then you you get into this. And if as Gurudev himself had mentioned, that the founder of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada, what age did he get his um, I mean, was he exposed to this knowledge? He was more than 70 years, I think. So
No,
age actually is
he
not a bar.
started at, sorry, he started
Yeah.
at 52. Like when he was, he was exposed to this, yeah, or he was like when he knew that what he should do, like going for self-knowledge, that age was 52. I was reading the autobiography of him.
52, is it? Huh? I may be wrong.
Yeah,
But
52.
it was
And
quite late.
yeah, it's quite late. And even the Swami Shivanand, he was a doctor, and he also started very late. And it is said that it's not that what age you received, it sometimes it goes with a very great speed. The way Prabhupada went, or Swami Shivanand, they went with a great speed. One is with the very slowly you are going on this path, and other is that you are achieving things very fast and you go into meditation very easily. It all depends like what prarabdha you had you were born with. And even
And
if
look at our own Arjuna.
yeah,
Arjuna, although he was with Krishna, he was associated with Krishna right from his childhood, so to say. When did he have this inclination to learn? Please
he was,
teach me
I
this.
think, 89
He was more than
or
70. Yeah,
yeah,
78, 79.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is that the spark starts that is important. When it starts doesn't really matter.
Thank you. I had
Yeah.
a lot of question on this in my mind, and I think I've kind of got clarity about that. What age can children absorb this sort of knowledge? Thank you.
But
Not
yes,
this sort of knowledge, this highest knowledge.
yeah, as parents, it is our responsibility to guide them, to show them the path, to give them, chanting slokas, bring them in that prayerful mode. That is a responsibility of all our parents, right from when they're toddlers. You start singing to them, even like Madhuri ji and Percy ji mentioned, Garbhadan, even during birth, even during the conception, the pregnant mother is asked to listen to all of this, is asked to listen to Bhagavatam. Why? Because all these impressions are being imprinted in the developing fetus. So, in fact, there is samskara even before the would-be parents conceive. They undergo a process of purification, detoxification, so to say, so that the conceived the fetus, the ovum and the sperm are actually kind of the of highest quality, so that the conception happens. The fetus that forms, the embryo that forms, is also of very good quality. So it dates back. It is so it's actually cyclical, very very cyclical. No, where you start, wherever you start, that is the center. So whether the start you start uh, in the young woman, young girl who's still to be married, where are you going to start there, or will you start when conception happens, or when you start when the child is born? Wherever you start, that is the center. But that you start is important.
When we did the advanced course together, there was this girl, Medha Javdekar, who came in from Australia. She was Pune based. She had come for delivery and she got a beautiful child. But every time, even her first child, she wanted to do the advanced course. And she was full term pregnant. And even during this second child. And now she's gone back to Australia. She sent photos from there. The first child is looking after the second child, and the first child's first finger is in the mouth of the second child. She's trying to feed on it, like sucking on it, like. But it's such a happy photograph. They both wanted to do, both the children, when they were in the womb, she wanted to do advanced course. Definitely, it will have an effect, na?
Yeah. And a little more complex is that the reason why not every pregnant mother in the art of living ends up doing an advanced course. The reason why she did it is also probably because of the prarabdha of the fetus developing inside. Sometimes it's the baby who drives the mother to do things. So it's an interplay, it's a complex interplay of everything.
Both her parents are teachers. And during COVID, we were working together and they were taking online follow ups. And I was speaking on the immunity boosting exercises. I was teaching that. I was associated with them. So the parents' role was also there with Medha. Both the parents of Medha are Art of Living teachers and doing seva. And unfortunately, the mother has got colon cancer. And when she delivered, she was in hospital, the mother. But I've been praying for her every day.
Yeah.
Is it Medha Kulkarni from Sydney?
Medha Javdekar.
From Sydney. Yeah, I know her.
When his name is starting from P, I don't remember right now. Even he has done the course when I was in Australia.
Pratik.
I forgot.
Pratik
Pratik.
Pratik
Yes.
Kulkarni.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was reading this book of Power of Subconscious Mind. and it was described that how a soul chooses his or her parents according to the prarabdha he wants to cut. Like, it's so scientific that if you want, you know, at the soul level, you know what your shortcomings, what you have to improve upon. So to improve upon yourself, to evolve yourself, the soul chooses his or her parents so that they can cut off their prarabdha and uh, get to move on this path and evolve themselves. It was described very beautifully. It's a very beautiful book, The Power of Subconscious Mind.
Yeah. All this is about the
By whom
apara
is that book?
prakriti.
Sorry. Could you please put the name of the book and author in the chat group?
Yeah, I'll
or in
put
the
it in the chat. I'll put in the chat. I just skipped my
not in the
mind.
chat, sorry, in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, WhatsApp group. Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
It's a very beautiful book. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So shall we just finish this shloka? I think we finished the reading this apara prakriti, right?
Yes,
Apara prakriti.
Namaraji.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
The verse 5 we have completed.
Completed, no?
Yes.
So I think we've done enough manana on this, but anyone wants to add, summarize the whole thing? Very beautifully described, para prakriti and apara prakriti.
Yeah.
So all the discussion that we had again is concerning the apara prakriti. Then again, I'm just reminded of what Nana had mentioned. He says, you are here for your, ultimately, for your growth. So, of course, it's not that you should not take others along, but you focus on yourself. Like Swamiji also mentioned in the introduction to Gita, if you become realized, if you get more purified, everybody else around you will benefit, because at least there will be one less unhappy person. So finally, I think the reason why each one of us is here in this group, Manana group, is for our own inner growth. I'm not sure whether I've got the point across. It is not coming out of selfishness, no, but it is coming from the because only you can uplift yourself. No one else can do it for you.
For my takeaway for today is how important it is to understand one's real nature, and to understand the difference between the swabhava, which is anarthaka. The nature, when you understand the nature, then that is the real thing for sustaining this whole universe. I mean, if we believe that we have no role, but it is so important to realize one's own real Sat Chit Ananda Prakriti. We remain in that Para Prakriti only, which is the cause for creation.
Very true. When you come from that space, then we will not give so much of importance to events, situations. We'll not get bound by, oh, he said this, they said that. All that, those little things, slowly your mind will start getting free from.
Very true.
Otherwise, how much of our mind space, how much of our time during the day is occupied by all these things going on, we keep building stories in our mind. Exactly what Madhuri ji said. We label ourselves, we label others. We're constantly judging and getting judged. So that hold that the mind, the buddhi and ahankara have on us will slowly start loosening up. And we'll be more available. I remember in chapter 6, I think Swamiji talks of inner leisure. When you do that yukta hara viharasya, when you're doing everything in moderation, you um, you get that inner leisure. Your mind is not clammed with constant traffic going in and out. That stillness slowly starts developing.
Now, Gurudev's words are also getting so well digested when he says that your role is very, very, very much there. We feel that we are so small but our role in the whole creation is also so important. Right now, what we see around us in the world, what is going on, so much of chaos and so much of, but in that chaotic also, if you really know your nature, then you can remain focused and you can remain stable and you can create more such community where people are more aware about their inner nature, which is very, very pure. So Gurudev's mission is so very clear.
So really, we have only one responsibility in this world, our mind.
Correct.
That's my takeaway. And nobody can do it.
Only
and you can't do it for someone else. You can't do it for someone else. Only you can do it only for yourself. So God has given you literally only one responsibility. Just you, your mind, your emotions, your mental, emotional purification. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You've nailed it. Which is why that I think chapter 7, shloka 3, I think is that Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschinmam veti tatvatah. Of all the millions of people, those that are yoked to me, or even those that are yoked to me, there is only one person who will finally succeed.
Yeah.
And one more thing I want to add is time. This is time bound because you don't have endless time. You have very limited time in this life, whatever years you have got. So it is time bound, and also you don't have endless energy as well. To do your responsibility, you have limited time, and whatever energy and skills you have born with, only that much. You can improve on it, but that's your responsibility.
But then at the same time, although it is time bound, we should not be feverish about it. As in, you do whatever is to be done without that feverishness, with the faith that the best will happen. When here the element of faith will help you. You're on the path.
Yeah, so we have to be also see how you are using your time. Where are you using your time? Are you using it for your self purification or other things? So that is also your responsibility. Uttareta Atmanam, again come back to 6.5.
Yeah. Very right. We are creating our own blueprint, moment to moment.
Very true. Very beautiful discussion. Brahmaraji, we will go to chapter 6.
Yeah, we'll go to chapter 6. Is anyone ready with shloka 18? Is it 18? 19? I think yesterday Savita ji did Is anyone ready with the next shloka?
I have one suggestion that everyone should prepare. And you get turn wise. It's so like it looks so bad feeling that we haven't prepared. We are
I
not being the
second
good
you,
students.
Savita ji, which is true, very, very true. So,
Yeah.
what my suggestion is,
One
ideally,
shloka
everyone
every
should
day.
read. Yeah, and in case for some reason there is nobody who's prepared for the shloka in question, maybe what we should do is go back to the PDF of the previous shloka that was already discussed, and we still give the chance to someone to take up the next shloka. That's a suggestion. Um, Bela, are you able to share screen?
Yeah, Brahmaraji, just give me a second because there is some confusion about the file. I'm just trying to.
No problem, no problem.
Rather doing well, if you do the shloka yourself, you get more clarity. That whenever like I take one shloka, I see the previous shlokas also, then the coming shloka also. So it's only for our own good that if you prepare, each one prepare the shloka daily, one shloka, then you will literally like this knowledge will imbibe. It would you will not forget things easily. So I think we should all prepare the shloka daily.
I can't agree better with you. And if you're doing this, then that much less your mind is occupied in the anartha prakriti. You're in this beautiful knowledge. So then this is like you're building a beautiful habit of getting back to knowledge. So instead of wanting to watch some TV serial or do some gossip here and there, your mind will be on this. So let's all make it a habit to read uh, the PDF.
Savita ji did shloka 615 or 16, Savita ji? I think 15, 16 she did, right?
I read 17 shloka was done, 18 shloka I did.
So you need to go to 19th, I think. But is anyone ready with 19? Dr. Savita, if you're able to summarize 19, that will be great.
No, I'll not be able to because my expression is very poor. I think not like without preparing, I can't.
Yeah, no, if you've
Wasting
prepared
time.
only. Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll go to 18th, Shloka 18, and we'll read the PDF. Ideally, each of us should be ready to one of us should be ready to summarize.
The last paragraph where how a person can be accomplished, how can he be said he's accomplished, from that the state of inquiry, that was very this thing, revisiting that page, like it would be the last
We have about 10
two
minutes. What we'll do is, we'll take your suggestion. We'll just read the shloka and the meaning of the shloka, and then go to that paragraph. I don't know how many paras are there in this.
This
it's
is
not a long one.
Bella, are you able to
No.
do? If you're not able to, one of us will
Yeah.
do the reading.
No, I'm able to do it right
Yeah,
now.
okay, great. You
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
this is going late. Yeah. Verse 18, right? Yada viniyatam chittam atmanyevavatiष्ठते nispruha sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tada. When the mind has gained a certain composure and remains in the self alone, when one is free from longing from the objects of desire, then the person is said to be one who is accomplished. Brahmaraji, you want me to read Pratipada as well, or we can go to the reading of the text?
We can go to the meaning, yeah. We'll go to the meaning and then.
Yeah. So I read once again the meaning. When the mind has gained a certain composure and remains in the self alone, when one is free from longing from the objects of desire, then the person is said to be one who is accomplished.
Such a beautiful correlation between Apara Prakriti and Para Prakriti here again.
Yes, right
No?
now.
Mm.
Here, there are so many beautiful words in the chapter 6, which we have to keep on contemplating. The Ekagrata. I think Savita explained very well yesterday the whole thing. The nurture of knowledge is the last paragraph I read or the whole text?
From where the person is said to be accomplished, the last this thing.
Yeah, I think I will just quickly go through the text, the last. All desires from the sense of.
You can touch the topics a little, like the headings, and then you can move.
The result of knowledge is freedom from binding desires. So once we realize the anarthaka aspect of creation, then we remain focused on the nature of Atma, the definition of an accomplished person. Yuktaha iti uchyate. He feels that he is complete, he has abundance, that feeling of purnatva. All desires come from a sense of lack. When you don't, when you forget your real swarupa and you get lost in the anarthaka world, then you feel that aham kinchitagnya, aham alpagnya, I don't have resources, I don't have this, I don't have that. You feel that lack. So all desires stem from this sense of lack centered on I alone. These are the desires that are binding in nature because their fulfillment is the basis upon which I think I'm going to discover some sense of security in myself, some kind of satisfaction from myself. This is why fulfilling one's desires become one's main purpose in life. But sooner or later, you discover that desires have a knack of breeding like rabbits, and you either give up and become a hobo or go crazy. The point here is that desires born of one's sense of lack are endless, and having discovered this fact, your inquiry begins. Therefore, we ask, who am I? Am I really seeking something? Why I am seeking? Am I seeking something other than myself, or am I seeking myself? In fact, I am seeking myself. The problem being that I have a sense of lack centered on myself, and I want to be free from this lack. This is all I want. If I am a person whose nature is stuck with a sense of lack, then I can never get rid of it. But now and then I see myself free from this sense of lack. Whenever I open my eyes and see something so beautiful that I also open my mouth and say, ah, I find myself free from any sense of lack. There is a heaven inside me. Whenever I laugh, it is all heaven. Because I have these two versions of myself, one with the sense of lack and one without it. A very valid doubt arises in me. I begin to think that perhaps I'm confused about myself, perhaps my conclusions are wrong. This doubt marks the beginning of one's inquiry. The person discussed in this verse has come to know the self by means of such an inquiry, accompanied by whatever disciplines that were necessary to prepare the mind so that the knowledge could take place. The mind of this person has no more doubts and is totally aware with reference to Atma. There is no more guesswork or vagueness, and the person is naturally free from all longing and attachments. In the next verse, Krishna uses an oft quoted illustration to describe the mind of such a person. So beautiful what we discussed today in the Manana. So when there is a feeling of Purnatva, you can remain centered in your own self. Oh, we are all grateful to each other. Always grateful to you all. Anyone wants to share? It was very, very nice today. So today we will all try to remain in our real nature, which is Satchit Anand. That is Paraprakriti. Anyone wants to share anything? We still have 1 minute.
Yeah, this is something you get it on Sattva today. About Ashtavakra says the same thing. Don't be unhappy thinking about people, situations, and events in your life. Be in this such Chit Ananda.
Yes. Yes, Dr. Renu, we all come from that space that we have everything in abundance, and God has given us real everything in abundance only, and we are that Purna. So we will end today with that prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashit Dukkha Bhag Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Tat Sat. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Dhanyavad Sarvebhyah. Very beautiful session today. Yeah,
Very beautiful.
let us be grateful for everything. Very
And let us all go back to PDF and do our homework. And
Yes.
we'll take up Shloka 19 tomorrow. Wonderful
Yes.
sharing. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Hari Om.